Alright guys, so as you can see, I'm not here today, and that's because Miss Howell is sick. So the doctor said that I had to stay home while I take my antibiotics till I get all better. So we still have this last section that we need to do, and then this is the last one for this module. So that means we're gonna do this one today. And then we're going to review all the things about percents when Miss Howell comes back. And then that means you guys are going to have a test coming up next week, okay? So you can't say I didn't warn you. I'm warning you now. We're doing this section today, then we're going to review, and then you guys have tests. So you can't say I didn't warn you. You know about it, okay? So first things first, simple interest, okay? For simple interest, it's really easy. There's this fancy formula right here called I equals PRT, and you use this for any interest problem. This right here. It's on your paper, so you don't have to write it down. And I didn't have a printer at home, so I had to handwrite mine. So mine might look a little bit different than yours, but it still goes in the same order. But for interest, you're going to use this formula, and this formula will tell you good interest and bad interest, because there are two types, okay? Type number one, that's when interest gives you money, like you get to keep that money, okay? Bad interest is when people take money. That means you have to pay extra, okay? So usually good interest, that's when you put money into a savings account, and then while the money is in that savings account, it gets bigger. Like you get more money, you earn it over time. So the longer you keep that money in the bank, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger over time. Now, that's good interest. Okay, bad interest is when you go to a bank, say like you want to buy a car, you get a loan to buy that car. When you get the loan, you have to, like, because the bank just doesn't give you free money. And you don't have to pay it back. That's not how it works. You have to pay the bank back. So when you pay the bank back, you have to give them, so say they gave you $10,000, you have to give them that same $10,000, but you have to pay extra, okay? That extra is interest. This way the bank actually makes more money than what they gave you. So they might give you $10,000, but they're going to charge you like 3% interest. So that means they get that $10,000 back plus that $3,000 or that 3% extra. Okay, that's how that works. That's like bad interest. That's when you have to pay someone extra money. Okay, so let's look at some examples about how to find this stuff. And in case, well, yours is filled in, but for your formula, the way it works is you do the P times R times T. P stands for principal. So whenever you think about the principal, it's your starting money. That's how much money you started with, okay? Rate, the R stands for rate. Well, this is a fancy way to say the interest percent. That's what that means. And then T stands for time. And for like almost every problem you will ever see that we do, whenever they do time, it will almost always be in years. Okay? It's very rare that they do something that's not in years. Usually they'll give you like months and you have to turn it into years. But like 9 times out of 10, it's in years. So, and then again, this is it spelled out in words. So we're going to use this to do everything else on this page, okay? So let's try it. Number one, big money bank loans $12,000 to Carlotta. This initial amount borrowed is called the principal. Okay, that's what that is. It's your principal. Carlotta has to repay the loan to the bank at a rate of 5.5% simple interest per year over 8 years. Okay? What is the total amount of interest she will have to pay on her loan? So my suggestion is whenever you have these problems, okay, Make sure you're underlining all the stuff, same as Miss Howell did. That'll help you keep track of what's where. Okay? So, this is a bad interest problem because Big Money Bank loaned Carlotta money. So if they loan you money, that means Carlotta has to pay this much back plus this much extra. Okay? So they want to know what is the total amount of interest. So again, it's interest equals P times R times T. So we're going to take all those fun numbers that we just had, and all you do is you just plug them in. Okay? Oh, and if you didn't already get a calculator, go get one. You're going to need it to do this. Okay? So for interest, principal, they told us it was the 12,000. So we're going to do 12, assuming Miss Howell's pen works. 12,000. Oh, it's still got the stuff on it. It's a new pen. So 12,000. Let's see. And then we're going to multiply that, because in interest you're always multiplying, by the rate, which is the 5.5%. And remember, with any percent, you always change it to a, hopefully you answered decimal in your head. Okay? So 5.5%, if you forgot what that is as a decimal, remember, just divide that number by 100. It tells you what it is. Or move it 2 times, so 1, 2. So 0.055, that's going to be the decimal that we use. And then times time, which is going to be 8. Okay, so you need calculators. Let us calculate. Okay, so 12 times 0.055 times 8. Boom. Okay, should be $5,280. So this is how much extra money Carlotta has to pay Big Money Bank after paying the $12,000. Okay, she has to pay this much extra. Okay, so keep that in mind. Whenever you borrow money from anybody somewhere and you have to pay interest, you have to pay extra back. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so that's pretty much all you're doing, is you multiply the dollar amount by the percent as a decimal by the number of years. That's it. Okay, so let us try another one. Let's see. So I have to make sure it fits in the camera. Move it a little bit. And we'll go with that. All right, so Emilio opens a savings account at his local. Oh, this is a savings account. Yay, a savings account means good money. Savings account means Emilio's going to get extra back. Okay, so he opens a savings account at his local credit union with a $5,000 deposit. Okay, the account will pay 2.5% interest per year. How does Emilio's account grow over time? Okay, so if it doesn't specify the year, we're just gonna go with 1 year. Whenever it doesn't tell you, just go with 1 because it says per year. So again, for interest, that is principal times the rate times the time. So let us try it. So that's gonna be, let's see, the principal. I don't see the word principal, but what's the only dollar amount that they gave you in the whole problem? The $5,000. Yeah, you're right. There you go. Okay. That's the deposit. Because remember what I told you up here? I told you the principal is whatever your starting money is. So when Emilio deposited $5,000, okay, that's what he started with. Okay, so we're going to do, let's see, the interest is that $5,000 times 2.5% is a decimal, so 0.025, and then times 1 for 1 year. Okay, now do you really need to put the 1? No, but we are following the formula. We're just going to put it in there anyway. Okay, and then we're going to calculator. 5,000 times 0.025 times 1 should get $125. So that means every year, okay, Emilio is going to get $125 extra into this savings account. Okay, Now, the way this works, this is if he doesn't touch this money. If he takes nothing out, he will get this much money extra, okay? So that's what that works. So this is good interest. Good interest is when you get money. You get more money. Yay. Okay. All right. So far, so good, hopefully. We're going to try the next question. Okay. So, gotta make sure it fits in the camera. There we go. All right, so the next one. Inez opens a savings account with $2,400. The account pays her 2.4% annual simple interest. Okay, so whenever you see this annual simple interest, annual is just a fancy way to say per year. That's all that means. It's per year. So this one has two parts. So yours should be in a little table. Again, I had to handwrite mine, so it looks a little different. But it says find the amount of simple interest that the account will earn per year. So again, if it doesn't tell you how much time there is, that means you just go with 1 year. So when it says per year, that means we're going to use 1 year. So again, interest equals P times R times T. So let us try it. Y equals, let's see, your principal was that we started with $2,400 times our rate, which was 2.4%. So that's 0.024 times 1, because again, we're just doing 1 year. 4 times 1. So, right, 2,400. Okay, 57.6. So the interest is a whole $57.60 per year. Okay, so this is how much the interest is for 1 year. Okay, the next part, it asks you to calculate the total interest Inez would earn in 10 years. Now I know I wrote through it, but whatever. But it says 10 years. So how would you, what would you do with the, if this is how much for 1 year, but I want 10 years, what should you do? Hopefully you said multiply by 10. Okay, you should be multiplying by 10. That's pretty much all we're going to do here. So we're going to take, or you can just do this formula all over again. It is up to you. They both work the exact same way. Okay, so if we do the 2,400 times 0.024 times 10. So let's see. So 24 and 10.024 times 10. Okay, 576. Again, that's the same thing as if we did 57.6 times 10. Still get the exact same number, okay? So it works no matter which way you want to do it. So her interest is $576. And again, this is good interest because Inez opened a savings account. That means she's going to get in 10 years an extra $500, which I know it doesn't seem like much, but that's at least one and a half car payments. Okay, so that's not bad. Or maybe, you know, the amount that you spend at, you know, Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell for like a year. Or at least that's how much Miss Howell spends. But there you go. Okay. Alright, so hopefully that wasn't that bad. Hang on, I need some Sprite to help my throat. Alright, let's try the next one, okay? So Green Bank has the ad shown that a savings account over $1,000 earn 2.2% interest. Okay, and we get 2.2%. But Barry opens a savings account after seeing the ad, and he deposits $1,300. Okay, $1,300. How much interest does Barry earn in 7 years? All right, so let's try it. Interest equals P R T. So we're gonna do that $1,300 that he starts with, 2.2% as a decimal. So let's see, that should be 0.022 times 7. So 1,300 times 0.22 times 7, right? So it should be $200.20. So in 7 years, Barry will get this much extra money. Okay, so let's try this next one. All right, this one's a little bit different, so don't freak out. It's okay. I got you. Okay, this one says, at Blue Bank, Barry would earn $159.25 in simple interest in 7 years after depositing the $1,300. What rate of simple interest is offered at the Blue Bank? Okay, now this one is different. Okay, they didn't tell you what the rate was, and they told you what the interest was. So normally we would use the I equals P times R times T to solve this, right? And we would just multiply everything and boom, all done. Well, we can't do that this time because they already told us what it equals, okay? They told us that it's $159.25. And let's see, the principal was $1,300. We don't know what the rate was, but we do know that it was 7 years. So think about it. If normally we would multiply to get our answer, but we want to go backwards this time. What's backwards for multiplying? Or like the opposite of multiplying? Okay, can you think? Really, fuzzball? No? Marry out to you too, okay? Excuse my fuzzball, or cat. She's had to interrupt. Okay. Well, hopefully you told yourself that, oh, the opposite of multiplying, you know, that's dividing, because that's what we're gonna do. Okay. We're gonna take this $159.25 and we're gonna divide it by the 1,307. Okay. Let's see. Michelle was just checking something to make sure I can tell you this. Yeah. Okay. So it is up to you if you want to multiply these two numbers together and then divide it by those, or you can just divide this by this number and then divide it by that one. No matter what, you will get the exact same thing. Okay. So it's whichever way your brain works. I don't care. Okay. So we're gonna do, let's see, because I'm gonna teach you like the most correct way, like how you're gonna have to do this in the future for like algebra, pre-algebra, stuff like that. I would suggest taking those two numbers and multiplying them. You're gonna get 9,100. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the 159.25 and divide it by the 9,100. Okay, you should get 0.0175. But wait, that's not a percent. You are so right. How do we change decimals into percents? Okay, so hopefully you answered in one of two ways. Either you can take this number and just multiply it by 100, or just take decimal, go over 2 spots to the right. So we should get 1.75%. And that should be your answer. So looking at both banks, right? Who's the better bank to bank with? Is it Green Bank or Blue Bank? Which one did you get more money for interest? Because remember, this is good interest. This is money you get to keep. Okay. Hopefully you said Green Bank, because Green Bank you got more. Okay. All right. So hopefully that wasn't so bad. If you have a question about any of these problems, you can leave it in the comments on the video, or you can email me or whatever if you got stuck. Okay. And because I get the notifications for both of those on my phone. So if you need help with something, let me know. I know I'm not there in person, but I still help. Okay, we have, I think, 3 more questions. You should be on the back side of your paper now, I think. So you have 5, 6, and then 7 to do. Okay? All right, let's try number 5. Okay? It says Avram, I think it's Avram. Avram borrows $14,500. Okay, so whenever you see that word borrow, that means it's bad interest. This is money this guy is gonna have to pay back to the bank. Okay, so we borrowed this much money for a 4.5% simple interest. His bank allows him 9 years to pay back the loan. How much simple interest will Avram have to pay on the loan? Okay, so again, interest. What's the formula we have used 4 times in a row now? Well, 5 if you count part B in the last one. Hopefully you said I equals PRT. Okay? Or put the little dots or multiplying in between them. Okay, that's what we're using. So that's what we're gonna do. Same thing. So let's see. Interest equals principal is the $14,500 times our rate, 4.5%. Remember, you have to change it to a decimal, so 0.045. Or if you divide that by 100, it tells you that part. And then times 9. Okay, for 9 years for my time. And there you go. Use calculator, calculate. See if you get the same thing Miss Howell does. Oh, Miss Howell typed it in wrong. Tell you right now? Yeah. Alright, drum roll, please. Should I get $5,872.50? Okay. $5,872.50. Okay, so again, this is just how much interest he has to pay. Okay. Part B says how much money will Avram have to repay in all. So in all, that means they are asking you how much do you have to pay for the interest and the loan. Because remember, you don't just get to borrow $14,500 and only pay back the interest. No, you got to pay for all of it together, okay? So when I say all of it together or a total, what are you supposed to do whenever you hear the word total or see that you have to pay all of it? Hopefully you said add them. Okay, we're going to take both of these and add them together, right? So let's try it. 14,500 plus that $5,872.50 equals $20,372.50. Okay, there you go. So hopefully this will be like a lesson for you guys for like in the future, whenever you're thinking about like buying a car, buying a house, whatever, okay, or just getting a loan for like small business stuff. The higher your percent is, the more extra money you have to pay back to a bank, okay? So make sure that you are trying to get the lowest interest rate possible whenever you have to borrow money or get a loan. Otherwise, you're going to be paying a lot of extra money that you didn't have to, okay? So keep that in mind for the future. I know you're all only in like 6th, 7th grade, but still, it's an important life lesson, okay? You need to know that stuff. It'll help. I promise. It'll save you money. And everybody likes to save money. It's nice. Because then you get to spend it on, you know, cool stuff that you like. Instead of paying people back bills. Alright. I need another sip. My throat hurts. All right, number 6. It costs $36,736 to repay a loan of $20,500 at 6.6% annual simple interest. Okay, it's asking you how much interest would you pay each year? Okay, so pay each year. So let's see. If this is how much it costs to repay a loan of that much, and I'm repaying this much interest, how do you think you could solve that one? Let's see. Well, first of all, it's asking for just the interest, right? So you should probably figure out what the interest is. So we're not actually going to use the I equals PRT that we used like on the last question. We're just going to subtract those. Because if this is how much the loan is, if I subtract it from this part, that'll tell me what the interest is. Because this right here, this is the total. This is the loan and the interest together. Okay? So I want to separate the loan and the interest. So let's do that. 36,736 minus 0, 0, 5, 0, 2. Let's see if Miss Howell is the brain power of this. Right, just to double check myself. Because I didn't sleep very well. So it's up all night. My throat hurts. Alright, I mathed. Yay, I mathed right. Good job. See, I checked it. Okay, alright, this is how much interest we have total that we have to pay, right? So, let's see here. If this is how much the interest was, we're kind of going to do the same thing now that we know what just the interest is that we did on this last question about the blue bank where we had to find the percent, okay? But this time we know the percent. What's the part that we don't know for I equals P times R times T, right? We know what the interest is, right? Or here's our interest. We know what the principal was. We know what our rate was. The one that we're missing is the time, okay? So we don't know what that part is. So we have to figure that out. Okay. So let's see. So normally we would multiply this stuff together, but remember, we're going to go backwards. So 16, 2, 3, 6 equals, let's see, our principal was a 20,500 times our rate, which is 0.066 times time. But we don't know what time was. Okay. All right, so again, we have to work backwards here. So you remember what you're supposed to do whenever we're going backwards? If normally, what does this dot thing mean? Hopefully you said multiply. Okay, so if normally we would multiply, to go backwards, we should, hopefully you said divide, okay? So again, just like in the last one, if you want to multiply these first, then divide the interest by that, go ahead, or you can just divide this by this by this, and that'll work too. It's your choice. You should get the same answer no matter which way you do it. Okay, so let's try it. Okay, oh, I need to scoop this up a little bit so you can see it better. There you go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and multiply these two together just because, why not? Okay, so you should get 1,353. So again, those two together is 1,353. So now we're going to take that 1,000, or $16,236 for interest, and divide it by that 1353, and that will tell us how many years. So, how many years did you get? Did you get the same thing? Hopefully. So we should get 12 years. Okay. Now, technically, this one says how much interest would you pay each year. Technically, what they want you to do is figure out what this is for 1 year. Okay. I'm kind of out of room, but if this is how much interest it is for 12 years, what would you do to figure out what it is for 1 year? Okay. So if this is for 12, what is this for 1? Hopefully you said divide, okay? So we're going to divide that 16236, divide that by 12. So it's 1,353. Hey, look at that. Isn't that what that was? Craziness. Okay. So it should be $1,353 per year. Okay. That right there would be the final all done answer. Now, there is not one question on your homework that is that difficult, but hopefully that wasn't that hard to follow. Okay. They told us what the total was. So we just subtracted the loan to figure out our interest, and then we were able to figure out the years by just dividing. Okay? All right, last part. How many years does it take to repay the loan? Oh, hey, wait a minute. Didn't we just answer that? Ta-da! 12 years. Miss Howell almost remembers how to make an S. Ta-da! There you go. See? No extra work required. Alright, how you doing? You alright? Hopefully you're right. Again, remember, if you got questions, just email me later or post a comment on the video. Last question. Okay, right? It's the last one. I think so. Yeah, last one. Woo! Okay, so let's see. Alright, so it says the savings account pays an annual simple interest rate of 1.5%. And again, this is a savings account. That means this is good interest. This is extra money you get to keep. Okay? So how much interest would you earn in 1 year on $2,000? So this one should be easy. We're going to take our I equals P times R times T. And we're going to do I equals, principal is $2,000 times our rate, 1.5%, that's what, 0.015? Excuse you, ma'am. I'm trying to make a video. You're fine. Attention hog. And then times 1 for 1 year. Okay, so let's see. So 2,000, 10.015, 10.1, drum roll. Boom. Hopefully you should get that the interest is a whole $30. Woohoo! Okay. So what would be the balance in your account after 5 years? So let's see. What would be the balance in your account after 5 years? Ooh. They want you to get fancy here. Okay. So if they are asking you what the balance is after 5 years, that means instead of using 1 year, you should use 5 years. Good job. All right, go try it. So I equals P times R times T. Okay, but instead of the 1, you're going to do it again for 5. Okay. So let's see. Let's see. So I equals P times R times T. see, the principal was that same $2,000 times our rate, which didn't change, so it's still that 0.015. Oh, why did I write the percent sign? Ignore that I did that. I don't have whiteout, so I can't white that out. But we do times 5. Hopefully you can tell it's 5. I kind of can't, but again, I don't have whiteout. But that's 5. So let's see. Okay, so hopefully you got $150. Okay. Okay. So that means that is how much interest that they get. Okay. But the question is asking for what's the balance in your account after 5 years. So that's including that $2,000. So if your account had $2,000 and you got $150 in interest, what's the total? So remember, whenever you hear that word total, you should be, hopefully you said adding. So I need $2,000 plus that extra $150, and hopefully you get $2,150. Okay, and that's the final answer for that one. Last question. You guys are doing great, okay? You can do it. Last part. How long would it take to earn $500 or more in interest? Okay? So, if 5 years, you only get $150, right? Let's see. What could we do to figure out $500 or more? Okay? Or let's see, or if you know that 1 year is 30 bucks, right? Because that's what we figured out up here. If 1 year is 30 bucks, how many years would it take you to get to 500? So let's see, what could we do to figure this out? What if we took, let's see, I want 500. What if I just did 500 divided by 30, right? That should tell me how many years. Or about, let's see, 500 divided by 30. Ooh, you get that big whole number. But let's see. You can't, whenever they ask you for years, they want to know like whole number of years. So let's see, 16.66666. How many years would that round to? Would a 6 make a 16 go up or stay? Hopefully you said go up. Okay, because 6 is bigger than 5. So it should take 17 years to get $500 or more in interest. All right, that's it. Okay, that is interest in a nutshell. Okay, so hopefully that's not that bad. You guys also have a homework page about this. Please get that from the sub. Again, I'm sorry I couldn't be there. Still sick. Doctor said I had to stay home till Tuesday. So I should be back on Tuesday, assuming I don't get worse or whatever. But there you go. Okay, good luck. Behave yourselves, please and thank you. You know who I'm talking to. You know.